All Progressive Congress has dismissed Emeka Beke's claim to the Rivers State Chairmanship, affirming that Chief Tony Okocha remains the recognized leader of the party in the state. Beke, who is aligned with ex-Transport Minister Rotimi Amechi, had petitioned the party's national leadership to suspend the upcoming council primaries and recognize his authority. However, in a statement by APC National Publicity Secretary Felix Morka, the party clarified that Beke's claims were false and misleading. Morka urged party members and the public to disregard any references to Beke as the party chairman in Rivers State, stating unequivocally that Okocha is the duly recognized leader. This development deepens the internal crisis within the Rivers APC, which is already grappling with legal disputes and factional tensions ahead of the August 30 local government elections. The party's national leadership appears firmly aligned with Okocha, an ally of the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, further sidelining Amechi's loyalists. Now, it appears that in APC, Rivers State is divided into factions. We have the Tony Okocha faction that is backed up by the National and also has the support of the FCT Minister. And then we have the Emeka Beke-led faction that is backed up by the judgment of a lower court and has the support of the former Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi, who, interestingly, is now the member of ADC coalition. So we can also say that it's also backed up by ADC coalition in Rivers State. Interesting times ahead in APC. But then, what is your take concerning the rebuttal by the APC National?
When Morka released that statement, to me as a person, I said there was no need, breathing life into something that was not in existence in the first place. It has always been my point that there is no time that Emeka Beke has been the chairman of APC since Tony Okocha emerged as the chairman of the party. There have been no time. It is one thing about some politicians that have lost touch with members of the political party to try to see how to create division for their selfish interests. The division that was created by Emeka Beke was something that was, calculated by Emeka Beke and his sponsors. It was calculated. They were doing that to gain favor from the suspended governor of Rivers State. I stand to be corrected. Emeka Beke was doing that so that they will see him as somebody that is trying to destabilize and ensure that the government of the day does not have a viable opposition as a then. But he failed. I keep saying it that Emeka Beke, when he was the chairman of the party, was suspended by his own state executive. So if he was that good, why was he suspended? Emeka Beke over time has been someone with a questionable character, so to say it. In 2023, prior to 2023 general election, Emeka Beke was chased out of Igwe Square during the APC convention. He was chased out, beaten, because of his rascality. He went there and started making noise because he was supporting Amechi to be the candidate of the party. As at then, he went to Igwe Square and started making noise and constituting nuisance. He was chased out. The video were all over the place. So Emeka Beke has been that kind of person. But thank God that the party has came up and affirmed that Chief Tony Okocha remains the party chairman. That people should see Emeka Beke as an impostor, which he has always been. So I think the party is supreme.
Now, considering that, oh, interestingly, the APC faction in Rivers State, the Tony Okocha led APC, has taken the matter to a higher court.
Emeka Beke.
Tony Okocha's faction has taken the matter to a higher court. Okay. The judgment is in favor of Emeka Beke, not Tony Okocha. Okay. So Emeka Beke has no need to appeal that judgment. It's in his favor. It is Tony Okocha and his faction of the APC in Rivers State that will have to appeal the judgment, because the judgment is not in his favor. But now, the interesting thing is this. Party supremacy is there. Yes, the Supreme Court has affirmed party supremacy. However, it is still the court that will give life to that party supremacy, considering now that it's a matter of litigation. Right. Court has given judgment, and there is no judgment from an appellate court countering the judgment of the lower court. This is where the crisis is. But for you, you have said that the APC National, for you, there was no need for Felix Morka to have responded to the letter Emeka Beke wrote to Yowada, APC National Chairman, that there is no need breathing life into that situation. Are you aware that court judgment has life?
Laurentia.
Regardless of whether it was overtaken by events, because that's our English language. It has been overtaken by events. It has life.
Laurentia, you are working in this corporation. And by whatever reason, the management said that your services were no longer needed. And you said that no, it is within your rights to work here. You went to court. Does the court have rights to force you on this, corporation, that you must be their staff? The only thing that can make you go to court is when your salaries and allowances.
One would say that this example you're citing does not exactly align, because number one, there are agreements that were had. There were papers. Hold on. There were agreements that were had. There were papers that were signed, right, on the responsibility of the company and my responsibility as well. So bringing this into party politics does not in any way align.
Laurentia,
it does not in any way align.
The party constitution says that. Wait, no. The party constitution says that the NWC, by the power vested on them by the neck, can suspend any state working committee. The party, in their right, and with the powers they have, suspended Emeka Beke and dissolved the ESCO that he was leading. Emeka Beke has no right to force himself on the party. And I don't think that there's any court in Nigeria that can also force Emeka Beke on the party. That is the kind of narration I was trying to give.
I understand your narration 110%, right? And the things you have said, they make sense by the party constitution, morally and otherwise, considering prior to this time that even prior to the action of the National Working Committee, the State Executive Council had suspended Emeka Beke. These were issues that have been on ground, right? That I don't take for granted. But what I am saying is entirely different. The position of the party is different from the position of the courts. Now, I am looking at a situation where this judgment came since how many months ago? It's over a year.
Yeah.
It's over a year. And APC at no point felt it was important to challenge this, at least to the appellate court, and get judgment to counter that of the lower court. And now they are going to a higher court now that we have something facing us. The question is this. It is not about what is right or wrong with regards to the party. That's what I'm looking at. I am looking at the fact that there is a judgment that has life. Do you understand? How is the party going to go around this? One would say to a large extent, this is easier because it is local government election and RISEC has a role to play. But had it was INEC, probably it was Guba election, it would have been a different ball game altogether. I hope you know that.
Laurentia, let me tell you.
Go ahead.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, after the purported High Court judgments affirming Emeka Beke as the chairman of the party, I think there was processes that was carried out, informing the appeal courts that they were going to appeal that matter.
Was there a stay of execution?
Listen to me, Laurentia. The court, the appeal court was the first, is a court of first instance. And that matter in question is a matter that has lifespan, that can go up to the appeal court and maybe possibly the Supreme Court. So if the court of first instance has given a judgment and a notice of appeal has been entered, there is no way you will say that the person that is the chairman of the party will leave office.
You see, this was exactly the same trap that the suspended governor fell into. Exactly the same trap. That these are the issues. Was there a stay of execution? When you appeal a matter that is not in your favor, that you appealed a matter appealing a matter does not translate to stay of execution. You apply for stay of execution, which can be rejected or it can be granted. It's at the discretion of the judge, of the court in question. So that the matter has been appealed is a different ball game altogether. Was there stay of execution of that judgment?
Let us see it from this perspective. After election, let's say governorship election or senatorial election, those that are not, happy with the outcome of the election goes to where? Election tribunal, right? And if eventually the tribunal did not favor the person that is being declared by INEC, and election is said that your declaration was not in order, he wouldn't have been declared. The person will still be in office and go to appeal court. It doesn't mean that because tribunal has given verdict that you are not supposed to be declared or you're not the right person to be declared governor or senator, that for that you will leave office for the person that have been that has judgments to go. No, you have the right for appeal.
Now let me use the local government, the past local government elections that was annulled by the court as an instance. Now there was an injunction of courts that asked RISEC not to go ahead with that local government elections. The governor did a press conference in front of RISEC office and sent some unprintable words and went ahead to say that that election will hold. That election held. After the court injunction or the court order was disobeyed, your guess is as good as mine what happened at the Supreme Court. Now, it's also very important to note that the governor actually appealed for a stay of execution and it was denied. It's very important to note that was a judgment that actually came, not even an order. The governor applied for stay of execution and it was denied. And the matter went up to Supreme Court. And even though it was denied, the governor went ahead to do that elections, to conduct that elections. And Supreme Court judgment came. And that elections was upturned and cancelled by Supreme Court. Which brings to question why I said, is there stay of execution? Do you understand? Even if election tribunal, it is also possible that these governors whose seats are being contested we are able to secure stay of execution. To hold on, you're not. Were you party to that judgment? Were you in that election tribunal? That's what I'm saying. There is a possibility. Don't say no to what you do not know for a fact.
No.
There is a possibility that there was a stay of execution. That's on one hand. I've also cited another instance where it was denied, and the governor went ahead in Rivers State, and that's why we are having another elections right now. What I am looking at is possible loopholes that can be taken advantage of by the Emeka Beke faction to make a nonsense of, the position. It is up to the court, the higher court, to either affirm the judgment of the lower court or not affirm it. But the thing here is, I am looking at upholding and obeying, simply respecting the judiciary and our processes at its way. If we claim we are democratic, are following democratic processes, I am questioning what has been happening so far in APC and why this whole thing is happening as it were.
Laurentia.
Go ahead.
Laurentia. There's a way the court operates. The court cannot determine what is not before it and what it doesn't have jurisdiction over. But for that of Emeka Beke wouldn't have declared himself or imposed himself on the party as the chairman. The moment State High Court in Port Harcourt gave that judgment affirming Emeka Beke, I'm aware that there was a move made by Chief Tony Okocha going to the appeal court to appeal that matter. And now, the judgment cannot be binded on Chief Tony Okocha.
Was there stay of? I keep asking you that one question.
What is the stay?
Was there stay of execution?
That's what I'm saying. That a stay of how? I'm aware that for Chief Tony Okocha to remain in that office, that means you have the backing of the party, and also is constitutional. Whosoever disagrees that is not and is not comfortable should go to court.
The question I will ask you finally before we move
and for that scene that appeal court did not refuse to grant him a stay for the local government election at that time, there was already a high court judgment by Justice Omotoso.
Justice Omotoso's judgment is entirely different, and it is predicated upon the House of Assembly crisis. Local government elections was an entirely different scenario. So let's leave Justice Omotoso's judgment out of it completely. What I asked, that would be the last question I'll ask before we'll go on a short break. Was there stay of execution on the judgment affirming Emeka Beke as APC chairman?
Appeal court.
Was there stay? Are you aware? If you're not aware,
no. The Chief Tony Okocha has already appealed the matter. So Emeka Beke should wait until the outcome of the appeal court.
It is one thing to appeal a matter. It's another thing to get stay of execution appeal court has, of a judgment. The moment an appeal has the moment an appeal has been entered in a matter, the judgment does not hold effect. Who taught you that?
No, I'm coming now. Judgment of the first court doesn't hold effect because appeal has been entered. You wait until the appeal.
Who taught you that?
But that's true.
Says who?
No, that's true.
That is true.
That's true.
Says who?
If not, if tribunal give judgment that the person that has been sworn in as governor was supposed to be declared as governor, why? Okay, why don't the governor leave office?
Hold on. In River State crisis, for example, Justice Omotoso's judgment was in favor of the 27 lawmakers. And the governor was making, and the governor's faction that were coming to my show had the same position that you had. It has been appealed. It has been appealed. And because it's appealed, the governor can go ahead with his four-man faction of friends. The governor can go ahead with his three-man faction of friends until the matter gets to Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the final arbiter. And then what happened at the end of the day? What happened? No. I think that it's a problem when we don't learn from our mistakes. And hold on, when we apply when we apply selectively to issues, when the issues favor us, we applaud that position. When it doesn't favor us, we find a way to twist around it. On my show, I would stand for the truth, and I will ask questions. I will keep asking questions in line with the truth. There is no way an appeal translates to stay of execution. And you said they have appealed the matter. Granted. Now, the second question I asked was there stay of execution? You are now answering me. Your answer is very simple. You said the matter has been appealed, and as far as it has been appealed, therefore, the appeal, by the reason of the appeal, the judgment of the lower court is rendered invalid.
Until the appeal court.
Who taught you that?
No, but see,
well,
that is what it is.
Ayeba Gospel.
That is what it is.
Ayeba Gospel.